Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our first annual A&B Ovation Awards broadcast. We're going to be going through our nominees quite quickly tonight in order to get to our winners and be able to celebrate with them. So sit back and relax and enjoy the show. Announcer, that's your cue.
The nominees for Book Club of the Year are The Little Black Book Club, Sister Friend Book Club, Phenomenal Women Book Club, The Romance Noir Book Club, and Mocha Girls Read.
The winner is the Mocha Girls Read Book Club. This nomination letter was submitted by S. Brown from Oakland, California. My mother loved her book club so much that it bonded us in what would become the final chapters of her life. This year, my sassy 80-plus-year-old mother went blind, started showing signs of dementia, and began looking forward to her death. She lived in Virginia with my brother, but with him working constantly, it was so hard to provide quality care for her. Although visiting more often was important, it was her daily life that was of great concern. Who was going to make sure she lived her best life, whatever it was? I lived on the West Coast, worked full-time, and was overwhelmed with my duties as a single parent. All I was sure of was that my mother deserved a happy, dignified life. It wasn't until I hired a home health aide to care for my mother that I learned about the Mocha Girls Read Book Club. See? This aide was a member, and she was always sharing the latest books with my mother to lighten her mood. She would read the club's selections aloud before my mother's morning nap, and they would talk about many authors' characters. My mother loved the books so much she would encourage me to read the club's books too. I can't thank the Mocha Girls Read Book Club enough for nurturing my mother's love for good fiction. I just hope my nomination will get this book club one step closer to the finals. Thank you for helping my mother enjoy the quiet of her own home in her final days. You made her feel like she was part of a group of women that cared about books as much as she did.
The nominees for Outstanding Author in African American Romance are Keith Walker Thomas for Jackson Memorial, Nia Forrester for Secret, Monica McCahan for Tropical Fantasy, Farrah Roshan for A Little Bit Naughty Moments in Maplewood, and Yara St. John for Delicious Destiny, The Draysons Sprinkled with Love.
The winner is Nina Forrester for Secret. This nomination letter was submitted by E. Medina, North Brunswick, New Jersey. I read both Commitment and Unsuitable Men and loved them both. I just couldn't wait for this one. Nina writes books about real life that isn't tied up with a nice happy ever after bow. She makes you think about her characters, and that's a good thing. She approaches her stories like every single aspect of the story matters, and I can appreciate that enough to nominate her for an A&B Ovation Award. I absolutely loved Shayla and Trey. Their love story is filled with all the challenges and sweetest moments found in every relationship. Bravo, Miss Forrester. Please keep writing wonderful characters.
The nominees for Outstanding Author in Interracial Romance are Marcia King Gamble for Seducing Cirque, The Revelers, J.J. Murray for A Good Man, Sienna Minks for Te Amo, Battaglia Mafia Series, Volume 2, Altanya Washington for Provocative Passion, Kimani Hotties, and Shala Colt for Mistaken Identity.
And the winner is J.J. Murray for A Good Man. The following letter was submitted by Kay McCrary from White Plains, New York. J.J. Murray really grasped my attention with his portrayal of a reality show. It's an amazing story, and I love the relationship between Sonia and John. It was very encouraging to read about characters who are Christians but not have the novel labeled as Christian fiction. Their faith is simply who they are in the world. They're strong, yet they have weaknesses and still need to grow by the end of the story. I'm an Irish-American male in my first noticeably interracial relationship with a beautiful African woman. People see me as some liberal white guy and see her as some uppity black chick. We have been together for 8 months now, and we have seen and felt both the good and bad from others in regards to our interracial relationship. But to us, it doesn't matter what others think or see. We are happy and in love, and that is what matters at the end of the day. Not that our skin tones don't match. I can see myself in the John character and enjoyed the story very much. Mr. Murray managed to convey his thoughts about dating-type reality shows in his novel without ever becoming preachy. I totally support him being awarded this award.
The nominees for Outstanding Author in Multicultural Romances are Fedora Taylor for Her Perfect Gift, Delaney Diamond for Better or Worse, Hawthorne Family, Karen Kay for Proud Wolf's Woman, Lakota, Tracy Lockwood for Venice Heat, Urban Heat Series Book 2, and Sarah Daniel for One Night with the Bride, One Night Stand Series.
And the winner is Delaney Diamond for Better or Worse, Hawthorne Family. The following letter was submitted by S. Minot from Bel Air, Texas. The morning commute into Houston can be a drag. A lack of sleep, caffeine, or lack of motivation can take its toll on a person. Luckily, there's novels to at least help make the trip to work or school more bearable. For Better or Worse, the last installment of the Hawthorne Family series takes readers into the marriage of Cassidy and Antonio. There is some serious trust issues going on in this novel, but readers will be entertained. I nominate Delaney Diamond's work because I enjoy her writing. She has a way of making interracial love seem, well, destined. I enjoyed this sexy and romantic take on newlyweds trying to figure the marriage thing out. I hope this author wins this award because she helps readers remember true love is truly colorblind.
The nominees for Outstanding Author in Paranormal Romance are Yvette Hines for Siren's Passion, Deanna Lee for The Phantoms Below, Fiona McGuire for Prophecy of the Undead, Karen White Owens for The Touch, Angels in Training, and Dana Marie Bell for Sinful, Haley Shifters.
The winner is Dana Marie Bell for Sinful. This nomination letter was submitted by V.A. Wright, Bend, Oregon. Sin and Julian started off as secondary characters in The Bare Necessities, so I'm so glad Sinful is the tale of their love story. Sin is a tough girl, and I like that. She's a strong heroine that doesn't wait to be rescued. Instead, she does most of the rescuing. Julian is a hot, vulnerable enigma with a rare spirit bear with legendary healing powers. He's finally free from the threat of debt to claim his mate, but she's not having it. While his bear screams it's time to mate, the love of his life wants to make her time and date. Dana Marie Bell grabs you at the first page with characters that keep you grinning when her characters aren't fighting to the death to protect their mates. I nominate Sinful because I love the series and definitely recommend reading them in order so the plotline and characters won't get confusing.
The nominees for Outstanding Author in Urban Literature are Des Burke for Trapped into Marriage, David Weaver for The Power Family, a Bankroll Squad book, Keisha Irvin for Reckless, Daima S. Poole for What's His Is Mine, and Nicole Dunlop for Miss Nobody, Shaw Family Saga Book 1.
The winner is Damila S. Poole for What's His Is Mine. This nomination letter was submitted by F. Lamar from Chicago, Illinois. In this book, we are reunited with Adrian and Tanish from the A Rich Man's Baby novel. I think Damila and I have a lot in common because she keeps writing characters that remind me of the people in my life. What's His is Mine was a great read that accurately portrayed the thinking of a lot of women. And I want to nominate Damila for an Angie Award because I think that the sequel was nicely done. I love how she depicts the realness of the athlete illusion and how what women think is great can really be a pipe dream. This was a very entertaining read that I couldn't put down. I even missed checking into some of my weekly reality shows.
The nominees for Outstanding Author in GLBT Literature are Elsie Dean for Mountain Climbing, One Night Stand series. Cardenio C. for Something in the Way He Needs, family series. A.J. Thomas for A Casual Weekend Thing. Brian Michaels for Can't Make You Love Me, The Stories of Us. And Kendall Alexander for The Current Between Us.
And the winner is A.J. Thomas for A Casual Weekend Thing. This letter was submitted by Jay Martin from Colorado Springs, Colorado. This was a very enjoyable mystery and romance book from an author I've never read before. There's a lot going on in the past with both of the main characters, as well as racial tensions in a small town, murder, abuse, and more. San Diego detective Christopher Hayes travels to the remote town of Elkin, Montana. He meets former Miami police officer Doug Heavy Runner at a gay bar, not knowing they will be working together after their one-night stand. This book is so well written. It has an amazing plot and an even more amazing characterizations. It is gritty and disturbing, but somehow it is still a fun and touching book as well. I had to nominate this novel for an A&B Ovation Award, and if it doesn't win, I'll be very surprised.
The recipient for the Visionary Award 2014 is the Pantheon Collective. James W. Lewis, Omar Lugman Harris, and Stephanie Kasher. The inductees for the 2014 Academy of African American Interracial Multicultural Fellows are Wayne Jordan, Caridad Pinheiro, A.C. Mason, and Dietrich King Bay. The nominees for Outstanding Debut Author in African American Romances are Shelley Ellis for Can't Stand the Heat, Kensington. Tay Russ for Dream Lover. Carla Buchanan, To Trust in Me, Covington Family and Friends. And Victoria Bright for Love Unbroken.
And the winner is Shelley Ellis for Can't Stand the Heat. This nomination letter was submitted by R. Studden from Virginia Beach, Virginia. Can't Stand the Heat is a story about 3 generations of Gibson women that built their reputation as successful gold diggers, seducing men for money. Lauren Gibbons, the youngest of the Gibbons sisters, has decided to break away from family tradition and start a new career path in the small town of Chesterton, Virginia. Ellis is a gifted writer that deserves an Angie Award. She wrote an engaging debut tale of independence and unexpected romance, and I'm looking forward to her next novel.
The nominees for Outstanding Debut Author in Interracial Romance are Lena Hampton for Jack and Diane, Joanne Swan for Fever, Jeanette Ramsey for Love on the Rocks, and Vanessa Ames for Never Enough.
And the winner is Joan Swan for Fever. This letter was submitted by F. Hill from Brooklyn, New York. I nominate Fever by Joan Swan for an A&B Ovation Award. I enjoy the novel, and the chemistry and tension between Teague and Alyssa is great. You can feel the push and pull between them in each of their scenes.
T. Creek is an incredibly muscular, sexy fighter and paramedic. His world falls apart when he is wrongfully convicted of murder and sent to prison for life. While performing an examination, Dr. Alyssa Foster is taken hostage by T. He has every intention to use her to escape. Fever is a challenging read with the sick truth of some people's bigotry. It may be a hard read for some readers because it portrays some cruel racism mindsets. I believe this author isn't afraid to take risks to stay true to the characters she created and to get people talking.
The nominees for Outstanding Debut Author in Multicultural Romance are Melissa Yayone for A Greek God in Harlem, Delka Beezer for Give Me All of You, Disco Profinchith for Courage, A Story of Love and Friendship, and Hayden Ash for A Sweet Love Like Ours.
And the winner is Disco Prafinchith for Courage, A Story of Love and Friendship. The following letter was submitted by Jay Nugent from Manalapan, New Jersey. When I read Courage, I felt tears in my eyes and a lump form in my throat. This book just makes you realize how lucky you are to have friends and family in life that love you, and that you should never take your friends for granted. We shouldn't abandon our friendships. Our best friends will be those who ultimately stay with us and continue to love us despite any distance. The novel begins with a brutal opening that many may find unpleasant. As the novel continuously progresses, this brutality is punctured with moments of heartfelt love and friendship between Jenny and Daniel. Disco deserves to be nominated for this novel, Courage. It touched my heart and left a lasting memory with many readers.
The nominees for Outstanding Debut Author in Paranormal Romance are Alicia McCullough for Breaking Free, The Genetic Revolution, Sydney Aday for Birth Control, Emily Taden for Wolf Fever, and A.D. Koboa for Dark Genesis.
The winner is Alicia McCullough for Breaking Free. This nomination letter was submitted by L. Lewis from Alachua, Florida. I've never read anything that did what Breaking Free has. It took so many intriguing elements and interesting ideas and collided them into one action-packed, twisted, and turning novel. I'm nominating it for Angie Award because it's a mix of X-Men and heroes. XJ is a GEP, genetically enhanced person. All she wants to be is a normal teen. Her mother, a revolutionary, wants her to discover her greatness and help against the fight for getting more rights for GEPs. It's nice to have a strong black female lead in a young adult novel. I'm proud to say my daughter couldn't even put this book down to play Candy Crush.
The nominees for Outstanding Debut Author in Urban Literature are Demetria for Love, Lies, and Obsessions, L.V. Lewis for 50 Shades of Jungle Fever, the Ghetto Girl Romance Quadrilogy, Kimberly Lane for Miss Independent, and Jasmine for Thug Love.
And the winner is L.V. Lewis for 50 Shades of Jungle Fever. This nomination letter was submitted by R. Thomas from Miami Beach, Florida. First, let me say that I hate the term jungle fever being used to refer to interracial relationships, but I had to read this 50 Shades of Grey parody. My friends were talking about it so much in the office. Keisha is a streetwise, clever woman from the south side of Chicago who's not about to let anyone think she's naive or a fool. Tristan is damaged, but not to the point where you worry that he may not be redeemable or fixable. 50 Shades of Jungle Fever is funny, crazy, and almost believable. It's well written, and the characters are very likable. L.V. Lewis is the one to watch. There are some stereotypical characters in the story, but you'll get the impression that the author is trying to get across that we all have preconceived notions about each other that can be eliminated once we get to know the individual. So I nominate LV for an Angie Award this year.
The nominees for Outstanding Debut Author in GLBT Literature are Dane Waters for Falling in Love with Crazy, Becky Black for Ganymede Till, Bella Leone for Downpour, and Sophia Rhodes for Follow the Sun.
And the winner is Dane Waters for Falling in Love with Crazy. This letter was submitted by P. Richardson from Westchester, Pennsylvania. I felt emotionally spent by the time I finished this book, but it was so well worth it. When economics professor Ruth Tanica spots Daniel sitting in the park, he is immediately drawn to him. But making a connection won't be easy. It is clear that Daniel has some major psychological issues and a mysterious past. I love how mental illness was taken seriously by the author and not minimized into a small hurdle to be overcome by finding the right person and falling in love. I believe that we all have challenges, whether we have a mental illness or not, and those always come out in relationships. Maybe your mentally well partner is a commitment phobic. Maybe your partner is selfish. Maybe your partner has anger issues. Maybe your partner is a workaholic, and so on and so on. Mentally well people aren't a picnic just because they're diagnosis free. Most people end relationships for reasons outside of mental illness after all. Illness in a partner becomes part of the relationship suffered by both, and Dane Waters portrayed that reality in her novel with heartbreaking clarity. This is a fantastic, complex story, extremely well written. I really hope it makes the finals.
Wow, there you have it. We're done in under half an hour. This concludes this year's A&B Ovation Awards. We wish a heartfelt congratulations to all the winners, and big thanks to the readers and fans of the authors, to our announcer, and our presenters. We'll see you all again next year.